Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to share some tips and tricks that can help you perform better at the MIP competition. So these tips and tricks are based on my personal experience both as a participant and as a committee member for organizing this competition. So before we get into any of these tips, first I want to emphasize on the importance of participating. If you do not participate, you miss out on the chance of showcasing your skills as well as learning something new. And obviously you cannot win the competition if you don't participate. So do participate. And against popular belief, you do not need to have a great idea to start with. So later in this video, we are going to talk about how to even find good ideas if you don't have any. So there are many ways of coming up with ideas. So most of the creative ideas are not completely new, but rather modifications of something that is already existing in the literature. So what you can do is you can start reading papers on the competition topic and maybe even start implementing them. Because what happens is that sometimes the implementation details are not published, and that's your scope for creativity. I will even recommend reading up the source code of Skip and Hikes and other open source solvers and try to think about how you can implement certain components better. So most ideas tend not to work as well as we expect them to. And that happens even more when we benchmark over a diverse set of instances. So in order to maximize your chance for winning, you should aim for more than one ideas. That will also maximize your chance for learning new things. So in an ideal scenario, you should have more than one people working on the code. Each piece of code should at least pass through the eyes of two people. The advantage of having this kind of code reviews is that it will help you avoid bugs, and it will also catch some of your inefficiencies very early in the process. Your code will also be more readable for the committee later on. So even in my case, when I eventually submitted my code to the MPC journal, the code reviewer sent me a lot of feedbacks, and based on that feedback, I feel that I could have done even better if I had this code review process. In the worst case, if you could not find another teammate for reviewing your code, in that case, you are the reviewer for your code. So try to go through each and every lines of your code and think about how you can explain this code to someone else. So the other thing I want to stress on is testing your code as frequently as you can. So you should start with testing the correctness of your code, which is make sure that the solutions that you are producing are feasible. And if you have known bounds, then the solutions that you are producing are consistent with the known bounds. And once you have tested the correctness of your algorithm, you should test the effectiveness of your algorithm, which is make sure that your feature is doing exactly what you intend it to do. Frequent benchmarking is the best way of doing this kind of testing. So it will not only help you catch bugs early in the process, it will also help you filter your ideas, which is what is working and what is not working. And maintain the documentation for each and every benchmark, which is note down what was the state of the code, what were the parameters used, what were the results, and all those things. So that when needed, you can reproduce all those work. So for the MIP CC 2023, I performed over 50 benchmarks, and if you do not have a lot of computational resources, I would still insist on doing multiple benchmarks, but maybe on a smaller subset of the instances that are provided to you. So after a while, you will come up with a lots and lots of ideas for your competition. And in that case, what I would suggest is maintain a list of all the ideas and try to predict the impact and the efforts needed for implementing each and every idea. So once you do that, you can measure the impact versus effort ratio, and you can use that ratio for prioritizing your different ideas. Whenever possible, I would also suggest that you should do a quick implementation of your idea, a prototype implementation, just to validate whether it is working well or not. So after the initial phase, you will find that about 10 to 20% of your ideas are causing about 80 to 90% of your improvement. So focus more on them. Finally, when the submission time comes, make sure that you follow the rules for inputs and outputs. And in your report, make sure that you include all the metrics that are asked by the organizers. And you do not need to limit yourself to the competition rules. If you have tried things that are outside the scope of the competition, you can even include those things in your report. And you can even include how you can extend your ideas beyond the competition rules. All of these things help you maximize your chances of winning because the committee can better evaluate the impacts of your idea. So at the end, I really hope that you consider participating in this competition and do well. Take it from me, it's a great experience. You learn a lot, and hope that some of these tips that I shared today will be helpful for you to do well in the upcoming competition. If you like this video, make sure to press the like button and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.